Hello everyone, here is a question from ionic equilibrium. Which of the following happens when ammonium hydroxide is added gradually to the solution containing 1 molar A2 plus and 1 molar B3 plus ions? Solubility product of both the salts are given at 298 K. Now we know that the condition to form precipitate is ionic product has to be greater than the solubility product. How AOH twice would break apart in the aqueous medium? It would break apart as A2 plus and 2 times OH minus. And how BOH thrice would break apart in the aqueous medium? It would break apart as B3 plus and 3 times OH minus. Now let us assume that we have a beaker that contains the solution of both A2 plus and B3 plus ions, and we are gradually adding ammonium hydroxide to this mixture. So this means depending upon the concentration of OH minus, we will get the precipitate. So we have to find out the concentration of OH minus first, then we can take a decision for this question. So we know that ionic product, let's say for this one, we can write it as equal to concentration of A2 plus times concentration of OH minus square. So if this has to be greater than the solubility product, then A2 plus concentration here is given as 1 molar. So therefore OH minus concentration square greater than 9 times 10 to the power minus 10. So therefore the concentration of OH minus, in this case if we take a square root, then it would be 3 times 10 to the power minus 5 molar, isn't it? Now for BOH thrice ionic product, we can write it as concentration of B3 plus times concentration of OH minus cube, and the solubility product value is given as 27 times 10 to the power minus 18. So this is 1 molar. So this means OH minus whole cube is greater than 27 times 10 to the power minus 18. So if we take a cubic root, then this would become 3 times 10 to the power minus 6, isn't it? Because 27 we can write it as 3 cube. So then if we are taking a cubic root, what we are basically doing is 1 by 3. So that would become 3. Likewise for 10 to the power minus 18, if we put to the whole cube 1 by 3, it would become 10 to the power minus 6. Here the OH minus concentration is 3 times 10 to the power minus 6 molar. But which one is smaller? This concentration is smaller compared to what we got here. What this means? This means that we require a very small amount of OH minus from the ammonium hydroxide, and that would make a precipitate of BOH thrice. Because if you do a back calculation for both of them, what will happen is ionic product would be equal to solubility product in both the cases. That means the solution is exactly saturated. But to make a precipitate, that means to make a solution super saturated, we have to exceed the solubility product. IP value has to exceed the solubility product. So this means the OH minus concentration has to increase. But when we are adding ammonium hydroxide, we need a very small amount of OH minus to make a precipitate of BOH thrice. To make a precipitate of AOH twice, we need much more concentration of OH minus. That's the difference you need to understand in this question. Because here it is 3 times 10 to the power minus 5 and there it is 3 times 10 to the power minus 6. So therefore we need a smaller amount of OH minus concentration to make a precipitate of BOH thrice. This means BOH thrice will precipitate before AOH twice. So therefore option 1 is the correct choice here.